Ingrid Tappin. Ingrid, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, loud and clear.
And the floor is yours, Ingrid.
Before I ask you to take a step with me into the future of work, let me take you back to 2016. I am 36, working as an independent consultant. Wait, something's going wrong here with my slides. I'm sorry. Here we go. Yeah. I'm 36, working as an independent consultant in the field of innovation and people development. I am super ambitious, full of energy and drive, and I've built quite a track record for myself. I'm known for inspiring leaders and teams to find their purpose and improve their performance. I think it's because of my annoyingly positive and optimistic mindset that my friends call me the Oprah Winfrey of consulting. It could also be just because of my hair. Anyway, I'm an entrepreneurial consultant, ready to sell my second company. And while I'm thinking about my next step, I'm offered a senior level position at one of the big 5 consulting firms. Wow, a chance to play in the major league. My ego is stroked, and I think to myself, this is an opportunity to scale my impact and skyrocket my career. And it turns out I am absolutely right, but not in the way I expect it to be. It's a Monday morning in May, 6 months into corporate life. I wake up and my muscles are so tense, I just can't seem to get out of bed. My heart is racing so fast, it feels as if it's going to pop out of my chest. Raised by a psychologist and a psychiatrist, you'd think I'd know a thing or two about my own mind, but I am in shock and crying when the doctor says, here's something to calm your nerves. I'm an energetic high performer. I'm purpose-driven. Stepping out of my comfort zone, that's my modus operandus. How could this be happening to me? Fast forward to 2022. I'm back on my feet and I'm feeling better than ever. And I have been for quite some time now. And mainly because my corporate experience radically changed the way I look at work and led me to my current success. I now help organizations become future-proof by becoming more human. And empathy, developing empathy, plays a key role here. Empathy? Yes, empathy. The word we define as the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. You see, my clients, they want to win the war for talent, and that requires empathy. They want to attract, retain, and develop the best people. That requires empathy. They want to make sure that they don't get disrupted in the near future by some hip and happening tech startup that already has empathy as one of their core values. In the meantime, that near future already sneaked up on us. The pandemic was a catalyst for tech and digital transformation, forcing 5 different generations from boomers to zoomers to stick digital sticky notes on digital whiteboards in the attempt to work together. And at the same time, our planet has stopped whispering and is sending very clear and loud messages that we have no time to waste. And let's not forget that second P. I'm a consultant, remember? 4 C's, 3 P's, it's kind of my thing. Polarization. There aren't enough sticky notes out there to solve the world problems if we do not start bridging some social gaps soon. The future of work is now, and empathy is not enough. It's time to develop radical compassion. In other words, empathy in action. And I believe you and I need to develop it at 3 distinct levels. Level 1, radical compassion for the self. Not long after that Monday morning in May, did I realize that when it came to work, I didn't really know how to set boundaries. As a happy people pleaser and this notorious high performer, I wanted to live up to expectations. Can you join this meeting? Yes. Can you take on this project? Yes. Can you fly to Madrid? Yes. The answer is yes. What's your question? The boundless corporate world of work hard, work harder didn't give me enough time to recharge. But luckily, my empathetic employer understood, and I was able to take the time off that I needed. And it's true, the most valuable gift you can give yourself is time. But now, with the pandemic and literally no boundaries between work and private life, it's not enough to understand that your colleague needs time to recharge in between Zoom meetings. It's not enough to understand that your new colleague is feeling overwhelmed by all these calendar invites and pressing deadlines. The World Health Organization is calling work-related stress the biggest health epidemic of the 21st century. It's time to move from showing empathy when your employee needs to take a day off to drive his father to the doctor, to setting healthy boundaries for him so that he does not have to feel guilty about missing that bi-weekly meeting. Radical compassion for the self is saying goodbye to the industrial 40-hour work week. It's formalizing trust and freedom so that we can bring our best self and do our best work. And the world needs us to do our best work. According to the latest Global Trust Barometer by Edelman Consulting, people trust businesses more than governments to solve global problems. We want business leaders to play a bigger role, not smaller, when it comes to climate change, economic inequality, and social injustice. We need to make a shift from empathetic CSR, corporate social responsibility, to the next level of compassion. Radical compassion for society as a whole. No meat Monday in the office canteen. Nice, but not enough. A new volunteer work program. Kind, but not enough. Electric vehicles only policy. Smart, but not enough. Having empathy for the state the world is in today will not help us save it. Developing radical compassion for society as a whole means that we need to redefine our role as businesses and take a radically different approach to success and growth. Jason Hickel, the internationally renowned economic anthropologist, calls it degrowth. He suggests that we reorganize our economy in such a way that we can create abundance for the rich and the poor, even if that might come at the expense of the very rich. It's easy for me to say, I want to contribute to something bigger than myself. The Oprah in me has been claiming that for years. But to be honest, it's not really about what I want. It's about what we need. And it's a lot harder to take empathetic actions that don't necessarily serve me, but do serve us. And that brings me to my third and last level of compassion. Radical compassion for the other. One of the most surprising concepts that I encounter while working for and in corporations is the concept of silos, separate departments working side by side without any real incentive to collaborate, but all eager to break the silos, promoting diversity, practicing inclusion, trying to create psychological safety so people dare to speak up and make mistakes, all with the intention to connect at a human level and create this sense of belonging that we are all seeking so desperately. But what I am seeing is a lot of process and not enough progress. And I think that's because that annoying optimistic colleague is actually afraid to really share, afraid not to be understood, to be misunderstood. 1 week before my first day at that consulting firm, my mom was taken into the hospital, into intensive care. And I remember praying to a God for the first time in my life, begging for her not to die. And I'm extremely grateful she didn't. I never told anyone at work. I took that life shock with me, smiled, and got on with it. At least that's what I thought. People are difficult, complex. We have flaws. We can be impatient, harsh, unreliable, too direct, not direct enough, risk averse, not risk averse enough, narrow-minded, scattered-minded, or just plain out of our minds. Radical compassion for the other is not a soft skill. This stuff is hard. It means stepping in the shoes of someone else, someone you might not even like, someone that doesn't even share your worldview, and putting your ego aside. Trusting each other's good intentions, helping each other unravel our unconscious behavior, challenging each other to respond instead of react, to become response-able. How would you feel about stepping up to that annoying colleague tomorrow? You know, the one that really gets at your nerves, having that uncomfortable conversation. What do we need to do to improve our relationship? I believe we can create a resilient global workforce. People of all shapes and sizes working together, collaborating together to serve and contribute. A mix of generations feeling they all belong because they're doing work that matters to each and every one of us. But that means each and every one of us, whether you're in Helsinki, Amsterdam, Oslo, or even Moscow, needs to start developing radical compassion today. Let's stop being high performers. Let's be planet-driven, and let's not step out of our comfort zone, but jump. It might sound radical, but why not be radical together? Thank you.
Thank you ever so much, Ingrid, for that splendid presentation and a moving ending to it. Thank you so much. We got some questions for you, and I'll pick this one. This one is from Christian. Thank you for Christian for sending this question in. So for you, Ingrid, what's the biggest pitfall that we as leaders step into in our everyday work, perhaps in relationship to radical compassion?
That we think we are right. That's our biggest pitfall. We all have the tendency to think that our worldview, our experience of reality, that's the truth. And I truly believe that if we want to take a step forward and actually innovate and be able to hear all the voices, we have to dare to be more curious and not want to be right.
Thank you ever so much for these very important insights. Thank you. Thank you, Ingrid.
You're welcome. Thank you.